Boker Tov, good morning. We continue with our 3-minute daily dose of Torah. This evening, we begin Chanukah, so I wanted to dedicate some of our Torah study over these next few days to elements of Chanukah. And we'll start with the well-known machaloket, disagreement between Beit Hillel and Beit Shammai as to how many candles we light for Chanukah, at least what we refer to as Mahadrin. The preferable way to do so, Mahadrin min ha-Mahadrin, the super duper way to do the mitzvah. So you light 8 candles, right? That's the Mahadrin. The primary mitzvah is this one candle for the household, we're told, ner ishu beito. The second level, Mahadrin, is that everyone in the household should light a candle. And the third level, we call Mahadrin min ha-Mahadrin, is that you should light 8 candles. And here you have a disagreement between Beit Shammai and Beit Hillel. Beit Hillel was a position that we're familiar with that says each night you increase, starting with 1 candle the first night and increasing to 8. Beit Shammai, on the other hand, says you descend. The first night 8 candles, and then you make your way down to just 1. And what's the basis for this disagreement? And so, explained in Gemara is the following: that Beit Hillel's principle is that we always ma'alin b'kodesh ve'ein moridin. We always increase when we're dealing with holy things. We don't do decreasing. Whereas Beit Shammai says no, keneged parei hachag. Look at the sacrifices of Sukkot, where we start off with more, and over the course of Sukkot, we diminish the amount of sacrifices. Now, that could simply be a way of their saying that generally it's true that Ma'alim B'Kodesh Ve'Merid, we generally increase, but sometimes we don't. And so therefore it's okay here if we decrease. But then you still have the question, well, why would we choose to be decreasing? And so one of the answers will actually be found in those of us who listened to Malka Simkovich, who spoke on Tuesday evening for us at the shul on our special Zoom session. She referenced the fact that there is a connection between Chanukah and Sukkot, and the holiday of Sukkot. The holiday of Sukkot apparently, during the period of the battling, at least that final year, wasn't able to be observed. And it was in many ways what happened was that they were when Chanukah came about, they tried in certain ways to at least carry some of the practices of Sukkot to the holiday. That's one way to look at that. But the other element is the core element, that we know that Sukkot was the day, the period on which King Solomon, dedicated the Beis HaMikdash. There was a Chanukah Habayit, the Mikdash, the temple, was dedicated over the festival of Sukkot. And Chanukah then relates to it whether or not we go down the route that was described a moment ago. Chanukah was a holiday of dedication, and when the sages came to establish the ways in which we would even commemorate the miracle of the oil, they want us to think in terms of how other dedication ceremonies might have been kept, and we know that on Sukkot the sacrifices were diminishing in number, and so it is for Chanukah. So even though we in the end follow Beit Hillel, and we say Ma'alin B'Kodesh, we go up in number and not descending in number, we still should keep in mind the connections that are very real between Chanukah and Sukkot, and more essentially to remind ourselves that Chanukah isn't just about the miracle of the oil in the menorah, but more essentially the celebration of the rededication of the Beit HaMikdash, of the temple, may be rebuilt soon in our day. Have a great day ahead, and enjoy the first night of Chanukah lighting as we will just one night. Chanukah Sameach.